everybody. Welcome to I-25. How are you, Jesus?
I'm fine, Patricia. Thank you. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Maria, how are you?
Excellent, Patty. What about you?
Very good. I'm great. I'm very good, thank you. We are going to start with our class, which is class 44. So let me share the screen with you. Class 44, I had been in. Okay, let's jump to the grammar, the first grammar part, which is past perfect simple. Okay, so what we can see here is the structure of the past perfect simple, which is the same structure that we use in present perfect or in a lot of tenses. Okay, so it's not different. What do? We write the subject, which is the personal pronouns or the name or whatever, or each noun. Okay, so I, and we are going to use had. Okay, had, the verb, the plus verb in past participle, and then the rest of the sentence. Okay, so for negative sentences, we are going to use whatever of these subjects and had not or hadn't. Okay, so we hadn't, and the verb in past participle. Okay, so Jesus, can you please help me giving me one example with in a positive sentence with past perfect? You can use
Sure.
a name or you can use a pronoun.
Um, Patricia had asked me to give an example.
Okay, very good. Mari, can you please give me another example but in negative?
Sure. I hadn't told you a lie.
Okay, I hope that is true. Okay, so be careful if you told me some lies. Okay, so I'll be watching you. Okay, so we hadn't, I hadn't told you a lie. Very good. Okay, so Jesus, can you please read the fast grammar?
Sure. Okay. Past perfect tense is a verb form that shows that the action was completed before another action in the past. The perfect past in English corresponds to the pluperfect in Spanish. In general, we use it for actions that happened before another action in the past. As in the present perfect, the perfect past is formed with the auxiliary verb to have and the past participle. The auxiliary verb will be in the past.
Okay, very good. Excellent. Okay, so past perfect simple use. When do we use the past perfect? To talk about an earlier past before another time period or action. Okay, so we can say that two actions happen in the past, but one happened first and then the other. Okay, so the tense that we are going to put the in past participle, sorry, in past perfect is the one that happened first. And then the second action will be in past simple, okay? So it says, after verbs of thinking and saying, with expressions such as when, as soon as, by the time, okay? So let's see the examples. Can you please read the examples, Mari?
Yes. She was worried because Joe hadn't called all day.
Okay.
He realized that he had forgotten to pack his pajamas. By the time I had finished reviewing everything, it was midnight.
Okay, so Maria, in the first example, can you please tell me what or which situation happened first?
Yes, the first situation in this case was that Joe didn't call or hadn't called.
Didn't call?
And that made the girl to be worried because of that.
Exactly. That's right. Very good. Okay, so remember, a past perfect simple, it's a situation that, well, two situations that happened in the past, but the one that is going to be in past perfect is going to be the one that happened first. Okay, so no questions about this? Very good. Okay, let's continue. In use, okay, here we have the structures for affirmative, negative, and interrogative. So let me read the first, then Jesus, you're going to read the negative, and Maria the interrogative. Okay, so structure, affirmative. We are going to write the subject plus had, plus the verb in past participle, and the complement. Okay, and here we have the examples. Mark changed his careers because he had worked as an accountant for many years and was bored. Okay, so I had visited the Louvre before, so I knew where the Mona Lisa was. They had or they'd studied English before went to London. Okay, so here we have some examples for the affirmative form. Um, did you know? Be careful because the contraction apostrophe D is also used with the modal verb would, okay, to form the conditional. As such, the short form I'd can have two different meanings, okay? But don't worry, it's going to be easy to distinguish them, okay? Because between these two meanings, by the form of the main verb that follows them. If we mean I'd in the sense of past perfect, the main verb, we know that is going to be in past participle. But if we are going to use it for would, we know that the verb is going to be in present. Okay? So that's very, very easy. Okay? So if it's past perfect and it's apostrophe D, the next is going to be the verb in past participle. And in the case of would, the verb in infinitive. Jesus, the negative form, please.
Sure. Okay, the negative form would be subject plus had plus not plus verb in past participle, and finally the complement. The examples: first, Mark changed his career because he had not or hadn't worked as an accountant for many years and was bored. The second one would be I had not or hadn't visited the Louvre before, so I knew where the Mona Lisa was. And the third one would be they had not or hadn't studied English before went to London.
Okay, excellent, very good. So as you can see, these examples are the same that I gave before, but we are going to, well, here are written in negative, okay? Had not or hadn't. What about for interrogative, Maria?
Okay, interrogative. Had plus subject plus verb in past participle and complement and the question mark. Examples. Had you visited the Louvre before? Had they studied English before they went to London? Had Mark worked as an accountant for long before he changed careers?
Okay, so as you can see here, it's kind of different because we are going to start with the had, with had, then the personal pronoun or the subject, and then the verb in past participle, okay? Okay, so do you have any questions about the structure of the past perfect simple?
No.
No questions. Okay, very good. So we are going to read a little bit more about the use of past perfect simple. Okay, so we use it to talk about a past action that ended before another action or time in the past. When we use before and after, we may use the simple past too. Okay, so the film had started before we arrived. Okay, so what happened first? The film started and then we arrived. Also, to show the cause of a past action. So I was tired on Monday. I hadn't slept well the night before. Okay, so why was I tired on Monday? Because I didn't sleep well the night before. With time expressions such as when, after, before, as soon as, by the time, until, by and until, okay? By the time I got home, my mother had already prepared dinner. with some adverbs, okay, such as ever, never, already, yet, just, so far, and still. I had never been to such a beautiful place before. Okay, so we are going to have an activity about the past perfect to see if you had already understood. And the first one, it's already there. It says, had Jim ever flown before his flight last week? Yes, he had. Okay, so the second one is going to, Jesus, you're going to do it, and then Maria number 3, and then you're going to continue like that. So it says, your sister breakfast before she left? No, she. Okay, Jesus, very good. So can you please read it?
Sure. Had your sister eaten breakfast before she left? No, she hadn't.
Okay, number 3, Maria. Very good. James said already see the movie last year.
Okay, wait. James had
No, James said he, yes.
James said he had already,
Yes.
and here will be seen the movie last year.
Excellent. Had and sin. What about number 4, Jesus? I got lost because to bring him up.
Okay. I got lost because I had forgotten. Is it with 2 T's?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
But it says forgotten.
Of course. Let me.
Yes, don't worry.
Okay. Forgotten to bring. Okay. I get lost because I had forgotten to bring a map.
Okay, very good. Okay, so number 5, Maria. They not study English before last year.
Okay, they hadn't studied English before last year.
Okay, very good. So I have a question. I have one question, sorry, for you, Marie. Can you please tell me if a study is a regular or irregular verb?
Study is a regular verb.
Yes, that's right. Very good. Okay, because this verb follows a rule, okay? And the irregular verbs don't follow an exact rule, okay? So thank you. Number 6, Jesus, she lived in Leeds before she moved to London.
She had lived in Leeds before she moved to London.
Excellent. And lived is also a regular verb.
It
What
is.
about numbers? Thank you so much, Jesus. What about number 7, Maria? The baby fall asleep before 8 o'clock.
Okay. The baby had, in the first place, the baby had fallen asleep. The baby had fallen asleep before 8 o'clock.
Excellent. Very good. And fallen is an irregular verb. Number 8, Jesus. I not think of that question before.
Sure. I hadn't. I hadn't thought of that question before.
Excellent. Very good. Number 9. Mari. Sue got wet because he not bring an umbrella.
Okay, in this case will be Sue got wet because she hadn't, in the first place.
Okay.
She hadn't In the case of bring, that is an irregular verb, so it will be brought.
Excellent. Very good.
Brought. Sue got wet because she hadn't brought an umbrella.
Very good. Excellent. Thank you so much. Number 10, Jesus. He owned his car for a year before he sold it.
Okay. He had owned. Okay. He had owned his car for a year before he sold it.
Excellent. Very good.
Thank you.
11. I didn't notice that the traffic light turned red.
Okay, I didn't notice that the traffic light had, and in this case, turn is a regular verb, so it will be turned red.
Excellent. Very good. So had turned. And finally, number 12. He ordered rice, but the waiter served him soup.
Okay. He had ordered, which is also a regular verb. He had ordered rice, but the waiter served him soup.
That's right. Excellent. You did it just great. Okay, so we are going to continue with the information, but before, can you please erase your answers? Okay, so thank you, and let's continue in use. Okay, so we use the perfect past or the past perfect to refer to an action or event that started in the past and that precedes another action also in the past. The action that happened first is in the past perfect and the one that follows in simple past. Examples: had you ever flown before the trip to England? I had read the book before I saw the movie. So as you can see here, this is in past perfect because it's the thing that happened first and then the situation that happened next. I saw, and it's in past simple. Sarah had just left when you called. The same here. Mari, can you please read the blue box?
Sure, Patty. It is used for actions that happened before a specific time in the past. For example, I had already woken up when the alarm clock rang at 7 a.m. I had not been to England before the trip in 2006.
Okay, very good. So it's used for actions that happen before a specific time. Okay, here we have the specific time and we use it in past perfect. Okay, the next information, Jesus, please.
Sure. Also, as in the present perfect with some verb, we use the perfect past for situation that started in the past and that continued to a specific point in the past. Examples: she had only owned one car before she bought her new BMW. I've been depressed for a long time before I changed jobs.
Okay, excellent. This type of perfect means completed or finished. This verb tense has three different uses, okay? We use the past perfect to talk about an action that happened before another action in the past, okay? So we have already seen that. We use the past perfect to talk about an action in the past that happened before another action in the past. Events may have happened at a specific time or unknown in the past. Mike had finished his homework before he watched television. So he could be able to watch television because he had finished his homework first. My mom had left before I woke up. So when I woke up, my mom wasn't there because she had already left. The snow had started to fall before Christmas Eve. Okay, so this is the specific time. Okay, so do you have any questions about the use of the past perfect?
No, I think we're good.
No,
Excellent.
Patty.
Okay, let's go with the last slide. Although the past perfect is correct in written English, native speakers of English in the United States do not use this tense often in spoken English. Okay, so uh, what do they do? They normally use the past perfect in the first action and had an important effect in the second action. Okay, so the words after and before indicate to the listener or the reader that the action happened in the past without using the word hath, sorry. Okay, so native speakers of English would normally say, Max finished his homework before he watched television. So as you can see, in both situations, the tenses are in past simple. Okay, so this is the way they express or say a situation or two situations that happened in the past. So Max finished his homework. That's the first thing that happened, and then he watched television. Okay, it's also correct. Max watched television after he finished his homework. My mom left before I woke up. Okay, both are in past simples. Okay, because native speakers do it in that way in the United States. Jesus, can you please read the reporter's speech?
Sure. Reported speech, indirect speech. We use past perfect frequently in reported speech when we report something that another person has said, thought, or believed. The reported speech uses verbs like asked, believed, said, thought, told, wondered. Examples. Tom told me that we had asked Sally on a date sorry.
Yes.
Second example. He asked us if the snow had melted. And the third one, I wonder what she had written.
Okay, very good. Just one thing. For this verb, it's melted.
Melted. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes. Okay, very good. So we also use the past perfect simple in reported speech. Tom told me that he had asked Sally on a date. Entonces, Tom me dijo que había invitado a Sally para una cita. He asked us if the snow had melted. Okay? Él nos preguntó si la nieve se había derretido. Okay? Mari, third conditional, please.
Okay. Third conditional, hypothetical conditional. The past perfect is also used with sentences with the third conditional. Sentences with the third conditional, hypothetical conditional, show an event that never happened in the past. For example, I might have passed the class if I had studied for the final test. If you had remembered her wallet, we could buy lunch. She would have gotten the job if she had gone to the interview.
Okay, so we use it also for the third conditional, and we can use some models like might, could, and would. Okay, and here we have the examples. So let me ask you finally, do you have any questions about the structure and the use of the past perfect simple?
No, I think we are good.
Very good.
Okay, perfect. Okay, just as a final comment, let me tell you that it's important for you to go to the Moodle platform and work um, with the activities that you have to do to continue to the next class, okay? And don't forget to study your vocabulary, okay, for the next class. So let me tell you that it was, that's all for me, and you were great students, and I hope to see you soon, okay? See you next class.
Hopefully,
Thank
see
you,
you soon.
Patty.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much. Bye.